Mr. President, yesterday, Chuck Schumer, Minority Leader of the United States Senate, came to the floor with his most recent ransom note. Of course, it wasn't serious. It's dead on arrival. Senator Schumer is demanding that the U.S. government send a check directly to the insurance companies of America for the tune of tens and tens and tens of billions of dollars, right from the government, mainlined into the bank accounts of the insurance companies of America. Chuck Schumer actually cuts the people, the American people, the taxpayers, out of the process. The people who are waiting for food, the people who are waiting for paychecks, the people who are protecting us, cuts them out completely. Nope, direct money, Chuck Schumer, U.S. government, into the bank accounts of the insurance companies of America. Think about it. Direct payment, U.S. government to insurance companies, American people having absolutely nothing to say about how that money is spent. That's what Chuck Schumer wants. No accountability. What he said is if the Republicans will not send that $30 billion to insurance companies, and it may be more than that, actually, if you do all the calculations, the Democrats are ready to just keep the government closed, no paychecks, no food stamps, no military getting paid, nothing. Mr. President, this is a true reflection of the failure of Obamacare. Since Obamacare was passed by Democrats, and not a single voter, not a single Republican voted for it in the House or the Senate, Democrats alone, the costs of health care in this country have skyrocketed. You know what, Mr. President? So have the stock prices of the insurance companies. The average Obamacare premium has gone up by 221% since Obamacare passed. Remember when President Obama said that Obamacare would actually bring down prices? He said premiums would decrease by $2,500 apiece. It was a direct lie to the American people, and I believe Barack Obama knew it. He didn't seem to care. He was going to do anything he can to get a bill passed that was named after him. At the same time, since Obamacare became law, the stock prices of U.S. insurance companies has gone way up. Some by 500%, some by 1,000%, because the money goes directly from the federal government into the insurance companies' pockets. And what the Senate Democrats and Chuck Schumer has held this country hostage now for well over a month, well over 5 weeks. What does he want to do? He wants to just send them more money for one more year. Let's just send them all the checks again for one more year. Republicans believe the taxpayer dollars should go directly to the people that are making their own decisions about health care for their families, not the insurance companies. Let the American people decide what works for them and their families. Remember, it were the Democrats who broke health care in this country. They broke it the very day that they passed Obamacare. And you know, Mr. President, recently the liberal New York Times stated the obvious. This was a headline Sunday a week and a half ago. Obamacare is pricey. Right there, headline, top of the page. Obamacare is pricey. Mr. President, I'm a doctor. I practiced medicine for 24 years in my home state of Wyoming. Chief of Staff of the Wyoming Medical Center in Casper, President of the State Medical Society. I'll tell you exactly what Obamacare is. It's a failure, it's broken, it's unaffordable. The American people know that. Now, Chuck Schumer and the Democrats want to spend and send another 30 or more billions of dollars to the insurance companies for the whole next year. This is a disgrace. It's not just a mistake, a disgrace. You know, Mr. President, there are Democrats that realize that Obamacare is a failure, failed to lower the cost of care, because just this week, on this very floor, Senator Peter Welch of Vermont admitted, quote, that Democrats did fail to bring down the cost of health care. You better believe they failed. We've been saying that for years. It's good to be here on the floor of the Senate with another physician who knows all of the same things. I know he's going to speak about this as well, Mr. President, because my question is, why are Senator Welch's Democrat colleagues holding our entire country hostage to double down on a program that they know is continuing to fail? It has failed and it continues to fail, and they want to send more money. Why are Senator Welch's Democrat colleagues holding the entire country hostage to double down on a law that has failed the nation with regard to our health care? From the start, Democrats started to realize it because they needed to paper over the terrible cost overruns that they saw with Obamacare, and they did it with juicy, permanent subsidies. When Joe Biden became president, Democrats said, oh, it's getting worse. We better put additional subsidies on top of the already juicy subsidies that were there, just to try to prop it up. They did it to further hide the failures of Obamacare. Well, the end of the Biden COVID bonus payments, as I like to refer to these new juicy subsidies, the add-on subsidies, only about 4% of next year's projected 20% premium spike comes from that. And what do we see? We see these new subsidies. They didn't lower premiums. They continue to try to hide the real cost of the premiums. They shift the costs. And who do they shift them to? They dump it on the taxpayers. And that's what Chuck Schumer is trying to do today. Dump it onto the taxpayers and sending more money directly to the insurance companies and keeping the American people out of the equation completely. Today, taxpayers are paying 93% of the cost of Obamacare premiums. This is a dramatic escalation from years before. And what did all of this extra spending by the Democrats buy? There's that much money floating around, Mr. President. The American people are left behind, don't have a right to look right at where it's happening. It brought waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption. Oh, yeah, there's been corruption. Last year, the American people filed over 200,000 complaints with the federal government because they were unknowingly signed up or switched into Obamacare plans. So how could that happen? 200,000 people either didn't know it or was switched. How does that happen? Because it happened without their consent. You look into those situations, these people had to find out about it and then complain to the government. So there are people that actually got switched, still haven't found out about it. Well, insurance agents and brokers get paid every time they enroll someone in Obamacare. They do. Get something for that. So we know that some are actually criminally manipulating the system. And that's where we believe those 200,000 complaints have come from. People who have been maneuvered and manipulated without their knowledge. But Senator Schumer continues to promote keeping the government closed until his buddies from the big insurance companies, whose stocks have soared now under Obamacare, get another $30 billion or more injected right into their bank accounts. That's what Chuck Schumer came to the floor yesterday and demanded. Government staying closed until you guys all send $30 billion directly to the insurance companies. We know what people across the country believe about insurance companies, Mr. President. Would the American people trust themselves to make these decisions or trust the insurance companies to protect them? Well, that's what Chuck Schumer wants to do. Keep the American people out of it. And meanwhile, federal workers have missed paychecks for more than a month. Military families are worried about rent. Air traffic controllers are overworked. They're exhausted. Planes are being canceled. Flights are being canceled. People are concerned about Thanksgiving. Enough is enough. Let's be clear with what Republicans are offering. We're ready to reopen the government today, make sure everybody gets paid who's been working without pay for the last 5 or 6 weeks by passing a clean, continuing bipartisan resolution. That means funding the government at current levels, so we pay our military families, we pay federal workers, we fund food assistance to 42 million Americans. Now think about that. That's 42 million Americans. That's more than twice the number of people in this country that are on Obamacare. Yet Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are willing to deny food to hungry children who outnumber the people on Obamacare right now by 2 to 1. That's what we're dealing with here. And not just once have they denied it, 14 times the Democrats have voted to not pay the working people and continue to pay, to continue to vote to keep the government closed. Mr. President, I know Republicans welcome a real debate about the many failures of Obamacare, because we believe Americans deserve quality, affordable health care, and they haven't gotten that with Obamacare. Reforms are needed that actually lower costs, to protect the taxpayers. The American people deserve a full debate about the unaffordability of Obamacare. Senator Schumer's offer does nothing to address the cost of health care, does nothing to lower premiums, does nothing to reassure the American people. All it does is make insurance companies richer and taxpayers poorer, and that is why it's dead on arrival. Republicans welcome the debate about having taxpayer money go directly to the American people versus this cozy relationship that Chuck Schumer wants to have with the insurance company, moving money directly to them. Mr. President, it is time to reopen the government. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.